Hey guys, this is Sean Sandridge. Thank you so much for clicking back to my channel. So we are back to doing the review of Dirty John. This is season 1, episode 6, One Shoe. So I've got my notes, but I'm just gonna let you know because I was behind. So I'm doing episode 6 and I'm gonna do episode 7 right away. And there's a lot of flashbacks. So I hope you can keep up with what I'm trying to review because they go back and forth. Now, we're going to go back and forth on this episode between John being in Ohio and the present day. So, the episode opens where we left off, where John and Deborah are back together and everything is all well because she doesn't want it to end. And she wakes up in the middle of the night and she sees that there is blood between John's toes, which is a sure sign that he is back to shooting up again. He's back in the drugs. She goes in the bathroom, she finds his stash, and she just has this real sinking all around bad feeling. Okay, the next day they're at the attorney's office. John and Deborah are meeting with the attorneys so that he can clear his name, because of course this is part of his plan to let Deborah know. And please, I just got down here and my dogs are deciding to be up under my feet, eating their snacks and all of this. They weren't doing this before. They were in the other room having a good old time, and just like a bunch of toddlers, when mama decides to do something, right, they decide to be up under my feet. So if you hear a lot of clinging, it's their collar, and they decided that they want to snack and do all the shenanigans around me, okay? So just please just ignore the noise. Anyway, so he's trying to clear his name, right? Because this is all part of his plan to Deborah, that he's going to be a better man, a changed man, all that stuff. Now, the attorney finds him to be, he's got the heebie-jeebies on John. He doesn't trust John. He thinks John's a shyster. And his spidey signals are tingling, okay? All the things that would make you, his hair standing on the back of his neck, he's got really bad vibes about John. He has no intentions on taking this case, but he's going to hear him out. So in this talk, because John is all about, trying to dispute all these charges, he's like, Deborah says, he's really trying to make this right. My family doesn't trust him and all that. And so, the attorney says, do you have a prenup? And she goes, no, we got married pretty fast. So the attorney suggests that they do a postnup, which is after marriage. It's a prenup, but not necessarily. It's just after marriage, and it gives, maybe the family a little sense of confidence that John's not after her money, which we all know that he is. But, the attorney's suggesting that. She's like, well, do they even stand up in court? He goes, sometimes they don't, but a lot of times they can. And, of course, you'll need to have separate attorneys, to protect each other's interests and all that stuff. While the attorney is talking to Deborah, because really he's really trying to press upon Deborah to do this, John is giving him a stare that I will kill you where you stand. Like, if you don't keep talking about this, I am going to shove your heart out of through your skull and make you eat it. I mean, he was just letting him know through the eye contact, like, I will kill you. So after that meeting, the attorney felt like, his look was like, I need a restraining order, because John really scared him. Now, we go back to Ohio. Now, he is divorced from his wife. She's at the police precinct saying that you need to investigate John because he's doing really shady things with narcotics, because she's at the narcotics section of the department. So, the cop is like, yeah, what is this to say that you're not a bitter ex-wife? She's like, you can say what you want, because she shows up with this huge box of just drugs. And, she's like, say what you want, but he's been doing some shady things. Now, the attorney, back in the present, the attorney feels like Deborah needs to be protected, because although he does not like John, he's like, she's such a sweet soul. I really feel like, we because Deborah gave him the retainer because John doesn't have any money. He's like, we're going to protect her. So he is going to try to do everything he can legally without tipping off John, which is going to be very difficult to do, to protect Deborah. We go, okay, so during that time, John shows up at the attorney's office. The attorney is asking for the documents for the postnup. He's like, we don't want a postnup. We never asked for a postnup. What are you doing about my case? He's saying that, you know, he's been stalling because, truth be told, those charges are real. Those charges are legit. And this whole notion about expunging your record of all of these charges are ludicrous. So John says, you're a shyster, you're a scammer. If you don't give me back my $25,000 retainer, which is not really his money, but if you don't give me back the retainer, I'm going to go to the bar. So, you know, he's nervous because he's not only concerned about this guy bringing him up to the bar. I mean, I'm sure that happens with attorneys from time to time. He's afraid of his physical well-being. Now, back to Ohio. The cops go to the house where John is living at the time, and well, I digress. The cop says that there are incidences that reason why John has always gotten away with stuff is because even if somebody sees something, suspects something, there's never follow through. So someone will report that they saw something, but the people that could really do something to stop him never follow through. Or by the time they are trying to follow through, he's gone. So he's gone from hospital to hospital, hospital with these incidences that really don't stick because there are no formal complaints. There's no formal actions done to John. So that's part of the problem. He's always several steps ahead. We're back at the attorney's office. And he sends an email to Deborah because he feels that John is not letting Deborah know. So he's like, I'm going to send an email. And he actually sends a letter. And Deborah picks it up and she gives it to John. She's like, I don't know, read it. So he reads it out loud and want to address this because I just want you to know that I just want to address you and want you to know that John has fired me and wants to know if this is something you wanted to have happen because I'm also your attorney. So he's pissed. And then John follows up with a call pretty much threatening him physical harm. So much so that the attorney is running to the lobby door and shutting it. He is completely freaked out by John. There's a woman that also talks about John back in Ohio and says that he's got a lot of drugs and a gun. So he gets arrested. Moving forward, back in the present, Veronica is asking Deborah for her birth certificate. She says it's at the bank. And so she's like, can you just leave it at the lobby? Because, she has where she lives. And son of a gun. So she's like, well, either I'll have to pick it up or John will have to pick it up. So she goes and picks up her birth certificate and a video comes through. John actually went to the bank, got the birth certificate, and took a video of him spitting onto the birth certificate. So when she gets the birth certificate, it's all a nasty spit stain. It's disgusting. But that's what John is. He's disgusting. Okay, so we're back to roses and all that and everything, and John's making the fresh smoothies. We're all back in the fray of things, and he decides to give Deborah this love letter. And in it, he's talking about, it really pains me that you and your family aren't getting along, but we need to leave the past in the past, and that you're a good woman. I just don't know what my life would be without you, and that I'm going to try so hard to be the man that you deserve for me to be. All right? We go flashback in Ohio. So because John is in his full-fledged drug haze, he's trying to kill himself in the hotel room. Remember, he told his wife when he was in the hospital that he had cyanide because he wanted to end the pain. So he's found in a hotel room with a whole bunch of drugs. He's passed out in his drug haze with an empty bottle of alcohol. Now he's like, I want to kill myself, right? They take him to the hospital because, he's got to get dried out before they can actually arrest him. The man jumps out of the ambulance in a full charge, kicks the guy in the face while he's trying to go up the elevator when he went to this other building, and he gets cuffed. So he wasn't that drugged. Anyway, Veronica gets a call from an unidentified number, finds out that it's Deborah, says, meet me at a cafe. And so Veronica meets Deborah at the cafe, doesn't really recognize her because Deborah has this beautiful blonde hair and she's wearing this brown mousy wig. And this is where it gets good, where things start to change. Deborah tells Ronnie everything's been going on. So she tells Ronnie about the drug use, about him shooting between his toes. She finds out that John's been tracking her because he has a computer. He's been monitoring all of her moves. He's been monitoring every time she goes to the bank. He's been monitoring her car. She found the tracker. She dropped some coffee and she went to go get it. She found the tracker. She found that she's being monitored at home. She goes and gets a burner phone and she talks to a millennial to help her through all the techno stuff. And she finds out that John's been actually watching her around the house. And then she calls the attorney that she had retained and says, I can't use you, but I need someone that's going to be able to help me with family law and criminal law. So this is where she lets Veronica in, saying that she is getting out. This is it. We're done. This is, so now she's got a plan. So Veronica is looking for a 2-bedroom house that's kind of gated and all that. They give her some added protection, and Deborah says, I'm going to help you. This is the last part of the flashback. Now, he gets cuffed because, he ran away out of the ambulance, and now he's released. Now, the ex-wife is petrified because she's like, why is he out? Like, he's only served 18 months out of like maybe a 4-year prison sentence due to overcrowding. So he gets out, and evidently he's going now to California. So the cop says, listen, as long as he doesn't bother you, you should be okay. And he's going to have to find something else to do. So she's like, all right. And he's like, you did what you had to do and you're good. So the cop gives a courtesy call to the department in California and say, listen, my name is Sergeant so-and-so from Ohio. I just wanted to let you know that we have someone coming to your great state of California. You might want to keep an eye on him. So this is how we find out how he gets to California. Now this part I didn't understand, but was it nail biting? All right. So Deborah's decided she's done, right? Now I don't know why she did it like this, but it was really tense. So she comes home, he's sitting there, and he says, why did you take out $30,000? And she says, it's my money. And he says, what is mine? What is yours is mine. And she says all calm, what is mine before we were married is still mine. And so she goes in the bedroom and he's like, don't make me break you. Like he's going to just go and do this whole mind thing. She says, I want a divorce. I'm leaving. I want a divorce. And he's like, hit me, hit me. He says, I dare you to hit me. You hit me and I'll make sure you won't ever get up. I don't know why she allowed this whole scene to happen in this little closet. I mean, it's a nice walk-in closet, but it's a closet nevertheless. She says, I'm leaving. She runs out with her stuff. She grabs her keys. She heads out of the front door, and first he has panic, and then he's pissed. Ooh, he's pissed. It's on now, so we don't know what dastardly things he's going to do, but we know that it's not going to be good. So tell me what you think about that episode of Dirty John, and I'll be back for the next one. See you soon.